Good evening. Oops. Ooh, come on, man. I should put my gloves on. Not quite what we're looking for, but it'll do for now. God, even with that utterly lousy turn at the top, that was a .079. Hey, must have gotten a lot of that right, except for that one. I see, you can also be too wide that way. Too much, too soon. Hello, my old friend, Mr. Red Suit Nun Guy. It has been a glorious friendship. However, I would love to race some other ghosts. You've been a tremendous motivator in the sense that I hear your engine behind me, spurring me onwards. It's disappointing that the actual lap of number 4 is not my ghost. This appears to be a lap that is a second slower. It's like a 19.16 or something like that instead of an 18.16. Or somewhere, I figure it says here 19.139 is what the difference in time between us two is. So I'm not sure if that's his lap time. I don't think it is. I feel like it was closer to a 19.2. Alright, let's figure out how to jump the curb again, because that is the key to going fast here. Should wait a little earlier, turn in a little earlier, and hop. Kind of need to be off power for the hoppy bit, otherwise strange things happen. But it's more like a breath. It's not like a... So you want to like, whoop, and then get right back on. So you take the power off so that when the wheels hit the curbs, the two curbs, you know, because you're going to run all 4 wheels over it, and each one is going to want to go zinging off at a slightly different angle, which upsets the cart terribly. So if you like put it in sideways like that, but you're kind of off power, it doesn't... Or like you've got low power going to the wheels or something, you know, it's like you're... I think what I typically do is you'll lift to sort of rotate and do that sudden rotation to get in there a little bit more sideways, and then you kind of come wonking over the two things off power. But it's a feel thing, just try it. You'll see what I mean. If you have too much power on, the curbs will eat you alive. Right, because that's not a good example. I was going too slow for it and then too low RPM. But if you're really gassing it through there, and like you can get away with it, like kinda on with a one wheel thing, but that curb is the key to going fast here, and it appears to me that in order to take it, whether you're just putting one wheel over it or all 4 or 3 or what have you, that you have to be aware of what the tire or what the tires that have power to them, the two rears, are kind of doing in terms of power being delivered, because that changes the way things turn. Hang on. Yeah, sure. You need the all of it, including this. All that part, and then figure out what's plugged in. It would be up to you. Oh, you're not. Oh, in other words, you're going to use the keyboard. Yeah. Oh, well. Do you have anything on your Steam account that you can do? Or you can buy something if you want. Hong Kong. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah. I've never tried Stardew Valley. Yeah. All right, close my door, please. Curtain. Sorry, a little brief chat with my son. Woo! Hey ho! So I think I'm going to need to adjust the steering wheel position a little bit. There's so many things I've got to do to get my rig dialed in. First things first, I've got to measure my pedal base to see if I can use that extender slider. If that's the case, then I want to look into some potential wheel mount options that are a little bit less flexy. Well, it's not that this is flexy exactly, it's hard to describe. But I think also the angle of the steering wheel needs to be changed a bit. And I'm wondering whether I'm going to want to have it higher. So I might need to actually change up my uprights and get a little taller there. Because the thing is, I'm slightly taller than average. I'm 6 foot. I have a really long torso and short little legs, and nothing ever kind of fits right, you know? And that seems to be the case with this rig as well. Plus, I use a car seat instead of a probably lower profile bucket, you know, on a fiberglass shell. I'm using an actual car seat. So it might sit a little higher. I'm not sure. Doesn't seem like it sits much higher than the crappy Jegs bucket seat I had for a little bit. But regardless, the cool thing about the pedal plate will raise my feet, which I'm not opposed to at all because I would prefer to be more karting seating position-wise anyway. But the challenge I have is my knees already are interacting with the base plate of the steering wheel and the upright. It's mostly the base plate and steering wheel, but I'll be getting higher instead of lower. So I suspect, unless, well, actually it might all work out as my legs straighten out. So I'll start with the base plate, pedal expanded, slider extender thingy. But I have to measure things to see if it's compatible. The guy over at SimLab have been helpful, you know, because they're doing, I sent them an email saying, hey, I need to change my foot position. I've got your GT1, whatever this Evo is. Showed me that they do in fact make a thing, but it's kind of weird because it doesn't fit all the GT1 Evos. So I've got to measure to see if it's 28.5 centimeters from 2 holes. Hey-ho. Bit of a send there. Well, it wasn't. It was that my brakes started to or rather my rear end started to kick out. I was on the brakes for just a little bit too long. It's the thing with KartKraft. You can't, a lot of people express great consternation when they start playing this game because their brakes are weird. Yes, they are weird. What's primarily weird about the brakes is that they're go-kart brakes, and if you can't feel them, it's really hard to get a sense of what the hell is going on with your tires in the sim, and I think that lack of feedback makes it really hard at first until you get used to interpreting the feedback that you do get. Now, I also have dramatically improved the feedback that I get by having base shakers that play me brake lock, and that kind of stuff. Wheel lock, rather. So you can hear it go, I don't know if you can hear it in the background on the mic, but when I braked. It's tempting, but it didn't help using the paint to rotate the cart like that, keep it in a straight line. Showboaty. Too late. No idea what lap time I just did. It has to be 2 something. So we've been messing around with ChatGPT or whatever it is, the AI that you can ask questions to. So over at KartPulse, we've been goofing around asking it questions about go-karting. And it puts together some remarkably good answers, like really thoughtful answers, you know, like tuning questions and driving questions and stuff like that. I specifically asked it, when is it appropriate to send it in racing, and it gave a very good answer. I encourage you to go check out the thread. It's probably on the front page today. The other thing that was really fun about it is somebody had the brilliant idea of saying, oh, type in your name followed by kart racer and see what it has to say about you. So of course, most of the guys who have some sort of all the people who have international experience found there was information on the system enough. I guess it sees European karting results and stuff like that. But for example, it didn't pick up really on SCUSA and that kind of stuff. I asked it, who's the greatest, who's the most successful kart racer, alive today, or American kart racer alive today. And it was interesting, it said like Sage Karam and stuff like that. It had some good choices and everything else, but it was really more based on their car. Like, actually, let me change that. The one thing that they all had in common was that they were all professional race car drivers who had started in go-karting. So if you don't have like car experience, like it seemed like it was a lot more knowledgeable about those kind of results than karting results. Although some of the a lot of the non-US people, like Euro Tour people, it definitely knew to look at those results. So for example, my friend Tanguy, who was on the Euro Tour, it found stuff about him, although it confused him with another Tanguy partially. One weird one was that there was a pro who's older now, Nick Goodfellow, who was a pro, I guess, in the 80s into 90s or something like that, or maybe more like 90s, more like a 90s pro, on the Euro Tour. Anyway, it didn't recognize him, but it recognized some of the younger guys. Me, it said that it had nothing on me at all, and then snidely described what kart racing. Kart racer is typically somebody who races go-karts. Anyway, I thought it was a crushing blow. My rental races and my F-Series and all that kind of stuff, it's all just pissing in the wind. The AI didn't pick up on me. Oh well. I don't exist. I think it also is looking at a slice of time. I'm not sure entirely what the things are, but it does give you, hey, anything post 2021, it ain't going to be considering. Too much. Okie dokie. Ooh, wide. Brake earlier, turn in earlier. There you go. It really just is that simple. Brake earlier, turn in earlier. Oh, let it fly. Oh, look at that. 8.994. Too early. I avoided all of the asphalt in that turn. Feel kind of stupid when you miss, but it is kind of fun. This is obviously a timing thing. And you can't think about it too much, so I just have to do it until it becomes a natural I mean, it is natural if you too little, but it'll still produce... No, I lost too much speed there. I'm kind of try hard with that a little bit too much. Yeah, let's brake a little bit earlier and turn in a little bit earlier, but not that much earlier. I've got to stop thinking and just doing. So let's talk about something interesting. I am playing Elden Ring with my son, or rather, my son started playing Elden Ring and it seemed interesting, so I downloaded it as well, and we'll do Elden Ring sessions where he's on his computer bashing monsters and I'm on my computer getting bashed by monsters. It's an interesting game. It's an open world sort of fantasy game where you choose, you run around basically killing things and discovering the world that you're in. Now, the things that you're killing, generally speaking, deserve it because they want to kill you. They're some sort of monster or invading zombie or whatever. However, you do have to murder some poor innocent lamb and sheep and deer and stuff like that to get supplies to make, weapons and stuff. And of course, when you kill other armed humanoid enemies that are out there trying to kill you, if their weapons are interesting, you can take those too, if they drop one. So it's not about money, but there is a currency that is vital to the game, which I guess are called souls or something. Anyway, when you kill a creature, it gives you a credit of, a certain number of souls. Souls are the currency that you use to buy, basically, level ups. So there's lots of little things like that. And so there's that, then there's crafting materials, which are abundant in the world, which you need for reasons. And as far as I can tell, the basic gist of the game is go discover the world, see what's out there to fight, what's out there to explore, and peppered throughout this world, pretty much all over the place, are high-level encounters that you can easily avoid if you don't want to fight them, but they're there waiting for you as you get more powerful and more skilled at the game. And then there are these dungeons and stuff like that. So I'm not very high level in it at all yet. We've been playing, I don't know, I've got a character that maybe has 15, 20 hours in or something like that. It's a very difficult game. It's just hard. It's not forgiving. There's no super duper easy mode, and I think it asks you hey, please don't button mash stupidly, because if you do, you're going to be completely ineffective. So it's one of these games where you are reacting to what the other monster does. So if maybe it's a guy on horseback with a two-handed sword, and he has a specific series of attacks that he does. You'll discover as you fight him that he likes to do certain things at certain times. So it's the kind of game where you have to either parry or dodge, and then look for the opening to do your attempted combo chain that hopefully they don't parry or dodge. So it's one of those things where if you just click buttons that you get, attack, it doesn't work. You get your ass handed to you by a skeleton. You have to be a lot more deliberate and thoughtful. Anyway, it forces you to learn how to do it, and I'm still terrible at it, but I'm not as terrible as I was, in the first couple of days. Anyway, it's fun. So it also has this interesting mechanic where you uncover these shrines all over the world as you're going along. So those are effectively respawn points, and where you go to level up your skills and recharge your potions and shit like that. Think of it, it's basically a campfire. And then they conveniently put little recall shrines at the encounters as well. So when you get killed by a mob, what happens is you drop all of your souls that you've collected. So, let's say over the course of whatever, you've collected 5,000 souls, you go and fight something and it kills you, bam, your 5,000 souls are gone. Your last couple hours of work are for naught, or were they? They actually aren't, because they get dropped in a pile, a nice glowing pile that shows up on your map. And if you run over to them and press Y, you can have them again. And the way they've sort of structured most of these encounters is that if you don't want to fight things, you don't really have to. You can just hop on your horse, run in, spam Y, grab your thing, and go. For the most part. So it's not that it's consequence-free, but it's not heartbreaking. And as far as I can tell, your items don't wear, and you don't have to, do any of that nonsense. Ooh, almost, but not quite. Commit or don't. Maybe it's called Elden Ring, I think it is. Not to be confused with the Elder Scrolls game from long ago. Game series. I think it was Morrowind. The Elder Scrolls. I remember playing that. No, 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 no. Pretty good S2, 205. It's not quite as good as I need, but it's the beginnings. Nah, you gotta be a little bit more committed than that. You know, there's a funny line because you do need to kind of let the tires kind of make their way over the curb. So you don't want to be going too fast, but you do want to be getting back to gas, right? So you kind of want to it's funny how hard it is to do when you think about it. Yucky. Rear wheel grass. Too early or probably too much turn. careful with the direct drive doing stuff like that, so you can hurt. Too much. That, my friends, was a .168, which beat my previous time of .170, or 173. However, is not fast enough to beat that guy. I need a .160 maybe, or 62 or something like that. Good news is that last lap kind of sucked. I mean, it didn't kind of suck, it had a weird moment in it, so let's make sure we're recording here because I don't want to miss it if I do a good one. That was a 5.172. And this one here, please tell me. That was a 9.0, I bet. So, there is still hope. So that was not super duper. S3 was not below 9. So there's We can go faster, boys and girls. Too wide. Not quite. Did not get it. That was terrible. Oof. Ooh, that was weird. Something went. Oh, you dummy. You big dummy. That doesn't matter. I screwed that up anyway. Nah, too much. Just playing with a little heavier braking there, but it was too long a brake. It needed to be sharper, shorter, and... Alright, you know what? I better take a break for right now. Come back in an hour or so. Let's see what my lap ended up looking like. Alright, so I did a 3.9, 5.1, and a 9.018. Alright, so I can do a faster S1, obviously. I can do a faster S2, obviously, and I can do a faster S3. So I am in pretty good shape for right now. So I have to do a 0.159 to beat none. So I might as well do an 18.0. That would be my thinking. And in order to do an 18.0, I need to get typically a 3.9 something S1, a 5.1 something S2, and an 8.9 something S3. However, a fast 3.9, a 5.20, and an 8.94 is good enough for 18.071, all of which I can do. Alright, good stuff. I'll be back in an hour or so.